for you to see biographical sketches of all our patriots who marched off on this day 250 years ago.
Exactly 250 years ago today, Martin Herrick rode in to let the town know that the British regulars were on the march. In just a few minutes, Martin Herrick is going to return. But before he does, I'd like to tell you his story. And for that, we need to go back in time 250 years and a day, back to the late evening of April 18th, 1775, at the Boston home of Dr. Joseph Warren, the famous patriot. Warren had just heard that the British were going to be marching, the British Army was going to be marching in the morning out to Concord to confiscate the arms and ammunition stored there. He was also worried for the safety of the famous patriots Samuel Adams and John Hancock, who were staying in Lexington that night. So he called two express riders to his house, William Dawes and Paul Revere. He asked them both to ride out to Concord to warn them and also to alarm the countryside, all of the captains and the colonels along the way, and also to let Hancock and Adams know what was going on. The two riders decided to take separate routes to double the chances that at least one of them would get through. Paul Revere took the northern route, which was right through Medford Square. While he was there, he stopped and alarmed the local militia captain, Isaac Hall. Then he went right next door to the home of Dr. Simon Tufts, who was a teaching doctor. And at the time, he had two medical students living with him. It was John Sprague of Malden and our hero, Martin Herrick. Revere asked them both to ride north with the alarm. So Sprague went up to Malden while Herrick headed this direction. As Martin Herrick left Medford, he hugged the shoreline of Spot Pond because he knew that's where the Stoneham captain lived, and in the pitch blackness, he thought it was the best chance of finding the house. There's an interesting note in that militia captain's diary for the early morning of the 19th. It says, "A rider came up from Medford, knocked on my door, gave the alarm, and rode into the night." Well, Martin Herrick rode into the night. The next time his silhouette might have been spotted was on the shores of another pond, Lake Quannapowitt, as he neared his next destination, the Damon House over in Reading. The Damon House is where Herrick's good friend and former classmate, John Brooks, was living. Brooks had been a classmate with him at Dr. Herrick's, but had since moved on and set up his medical practice up in Reading, as well as being elected captain of the Minute Company. When Martin Herrick arrived at the Damon House, though, he was told that Dr. Brooks was out, attending to a patient named Hartshorn. Well, Herrick didn't quite buy that story because he knew that Brooks had been in Boston just the day before with Dr. Warren. He knew everything that was about to happen. And as for Hartshorn, he probably wasn't a patient. He was the head of the Committee of Safety in town. This wasn't a medical call. This was a planning session. So Herrick rode on, and he found the captain up on Haverhill Street, gave him the alarm, and then headed to his next destination, Gowing's Tavern, right here in Lynnfield. Gowing's Tavern is gone. It used to be right up the road, about where 82 Summer Street is today, just across from Parsons Avenue. Legend has it that he rode up to the house with his horse panting wildly, and he yelled,
"Stand to your arms, the regulars are coming! Stand to your arms, the regulars are coming!"
And with that, the 16-year-old drummer, Benjamin Adams, beat the drum to call the militia together. It's been said that he beat it so hard that it was heard a mile away. And then from there, the message was passed on even further as signal shots were fired off into the pre-dawn sky. In all, 38 of Captain Bancroft's company assembled at the tavern, and under Bancroft's command, they marched down here to the common to retrieve their gunpowder, which they had stored right here in the old meeting house. And I say old because even back then, it had been here for 60 years already. And after that, they marched off to the battle. In just a few seconds, you'll see Martin Herrick come around the corner, once again coming in with his message to stand against tyranny and stand against the king, to stand for liberty and freedom and democracy, to stand to your arms. The regulars are out.
Company, shoulder arms. Present your firelock. Reverse arms. Shoulder arms. Mourn arms. Of all the comrades ever I had, they were sorry for my going away. Of all the sweethearts ever I had, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls onto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I gently rise and I softly call, good night and joy be with you all. Shoulder arms. Present your firelock. Shoulder arms. Company dismissed.
So I think what now we'll do a musket demonstration by Dave McKenna. He is president of the Danvers Historical Society and part of the Danvers Alarm Company.
The flintlock musket operates by a little piece of stone hitting the frizzen, light a charge in the pan, which fires the barrel itself. Danvers used a Pickering manual of arms, slightly different from one Lynnfield used. So I'll give a short demonstration of it. And we'll fire the musket, blank load only. Come to recover, your prime position, open pan, handled cartridge, paper cartridge that held the powder, and to throw a live loaded ball. Right the top off, prime, shut your pan, bout, load. If this were an actual battle, you'd be getting a ball that rammed down there too. Back to recover. Keep your head down, Ron. As ranks make ready. Preset. Fire. That was how you fired a musket. Let him have it. And according to the manuals back then, a man had to be able to do that 15 times in 3 3/4 minutes. Or he wasn't allowed off the training field.
So I just want to say hello to everybody. I want to thank you all for coming out. How about this, Dave, huh? Who ordered this weather? So all you people that came out, everybody that was involved in the marching and the demonstrations, everything went beautifully. I appreciate that wreath. It's a beautiful wreath. So let me just start real quick. I'd like to thank Ron and Alan and all the members of the Lynnfield Historical Society for hosting this important event. On this 250th anniversary of the American Revolution, we honor Lynnfield's heroes and remember the sacrifices they made so that we could be free. Today we reflect on the courage and sacrifice of those who stood up for freedom during the Revolutionary War. Their bravery laid the foundation for the liberties we often take for granted. I'd like to quote George Washington. Quote, the willingness with which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified, shall be directly proportional to how they perceive veterans of earlier wars were treated and appreciated by our nation, unquote. That's absolutely, positively true. We will never forget the brave militia members from Lynnfield who fought this fight for all of us. Huzzah! Thanks again for allowing me to participate in this beautiful ceremony. May God bless our veterans, and may God bless America. Thanks again. Thank you.
First song's called Revolutionary Tea. So we've all heard that the colonists refused to pay the tax on the tea, and that's what this was all about. I'm going to back that off just a little bit and talk about why the Boston Tea Party actually did happen. This is what happened. In the years leading up to the war, they passed the Stamp Act, the Townshend Act. They put taxes on various things like glass, paper, lead, tea. The tax on tea was 4 pennies a pound. This did not go over well. And Prime Minister before the war was William Pitt the Elder, and Edmund Burke was a member of Parliament, and they spoke and they wrote eloquently about letting the colonies go. He said, they are free Englishmen, they will never stand, they've always lived to be free, they will never stand to have their rights abused. And they thought it best to let them go, and they will always look to Mother England as their mother, and trade and protectionism and helping out, like World War I, World War II. There was an old lady lived over the sea, and she was an island queen. Her daughter lived off in a new country with an ocean of water between, with an ocean of water between. The old lady's pockets were filled with gold, but never contented was she. She called on her daughter to pay her a tax of threepence a tax on her tea, of threepence of tax on her tea. Now, mother, dear mother, the daughter replied, I shan't do the thing that you ask. I'm willing to pay a fair price for the tea, but never the 3 penny tax, but never the 3 penny tax. You shall, quoth the mother, reddened with rage, you're my own daughter, you see. And sure, 'tis quite proper the daughter should pay her mother a tax on her tea, her mother a tax on her tea. And so the old lady her servant called in, then packed off a budget of tea. And eager for 3 pence a pound she put in, enough for a large family, enough for a large family. She ordered her servants to bring home the tax declaring her child should obey. For old as she was and almost woman grown, she'd half whip her life away. She'd half whip her life away. The tea was conveyed to the daughter's own door, all down by the ocean side. The bouncing girl poured out every pound in the dark and the boiling tide. In the dark and the boiling tide. Then she called out to the island queen, "Oh, mother, dear mother," quoth she, "your tea you may have when 'tis steeped enough, but never attacks from me, but never attacks from me." Again, Mother England, Goody Bull. It talks about Goody Bull. She is Mother England, and the daughter is the colonies. And the farmer who tries to make peace between them is former British Prime Minister William Pitt, or Pitt the Elder. He and Edmund Burke spoke eloquently to try to head off the war, unsuccessfully. The song was said to have been played by the British Army as they surrendered to Washington at Yorktown. And the name of the song is "The World Turned Upside Down." Goody Bull and her daughter together fell out, both squabbled and wrangled and made a great rout. But the cause of the quarrel remains to be told. Then lend both your ears and the tale I'll unfold. Derry down, down, hey derry down. Then lend both your ears and the tale I'll unfold. The old lady, it seems, took a freak in her head, that her daughter, grown woman, might earn her own bread. Self-applauding her scheme, she was ready to dance, but we're often too sanguine in what we advance. Derry down, down, hey derry down. We're often too sanguine in what we advance. For mark the event, thus for fortune we're cross, nor should people reckon without their good host. The daughter was sulky and wouldn't come to, and pray what in this case could the old woman do? Derry down, down, hey derry down. Then pray what in this case could the old woman do? Sounds neighbor, quoth Pitt, what the devil's the matter? A man cannot rest in his home for your clatter. Alas, cries the daughter, his dainty fine work. The old woman grows harder, so said Edmund Burke. Derry down, down, hey derry down. The old woman grows harder, so said Edmund Burke. She be damned, says the farmer, and to her he goes. First roars in her ears, then tweaks her old nose. Hey goody, what ails you, wake woman, I say? I'm come to make peace in this desperate fray. Derry down, down, hey derry down. I've come to make peace in this desperate fray. Alas, cries the old woman, must I comply? I'd rather submit than the hussy should die. Who prithee be quiet, be friends and agree. You must surely be right if you're guided by me. Derry down, down, hey derry down. You must surely be right if you're guided by me. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to play a couple of very patriotic songs. So all of these songs, you kind of recognize the melody. They kept using melodies over and over again, writing different songs to it. Some of you know the Star Spangled Banner was really a drinking song. So the Liberty Song was written by John Dickinson. He was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence from Pennsylvania. Come join hand in hand, brave Americans all, and rouse your bold hearts at sweet liberty's call. No tyrannous acts can suppress our just claim, a claim of dishonor America's name. In freedom we're born, and in freedom are ready, steady, friends, steady. Not as slaves, but as free men, our money will give. Our worthy forefathers, let's give them a cheer. To climates unknown did courageously steer. Through oceans and deserts for freedom they came, and dying bequeathed us their freedom and fame. In freedom we're born, and in freedom we'll live. Our purses are ready, steady, friends, steady. Not as slaves, but as free men, our money will give. Then join hand in hand, brave Americans all. By uniting we stand, by dividing we fall. In so righteous a cause, let us hope to succeed. For heaven approves of its generous deed. In freedom we're born, and in freedom we'll live. Our purses are ready, steady, friends, steady. Not as slaves, but as free men, our money will give. It was the most popular parting song until Robert Burns came along and wrote Old Lang Syne. And now it's just Old Lang Syne. For all the money ever I had, I spent it in good company. And all along ever I done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass, good night and joy be to you all. With all the comrades ever I had, they're sorry for my going away. And all the sweethearts ever I had, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it fell unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, gently rise and softly call, good night and joy be to you all. A man can drink and not be drunk. A man can fight and not be slain. A man can court a pretty girl and perhaps be welcomed back again. And so it is and ought to be, a time to rise and a time to fall. So fill to me the parting glass, good night and joy be to you all. So fill to me the parting glass and drink a health whatever befalls. And gently rise and softly call, good night and joy be to you all. Another Scottish song. This is called the Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond. Loch Lomond is a lake. Loch is lake in Scottish, and Ben is mount, so there's a mention of Ben Lomond in here. And what it is, it's in Scotland, it's believed that if you die outside of Scotland, your soul will take the low road back to Scotland. And the people who are alive will take the high road over the mountains and arrive later. So the soul of the dead man arrives first. By yon bonny banks and by yon bonny braes, where the sun shines bright on Loch Lomond, where me and my true love were never wont to go, on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Oh, ye'll take the high road, and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland afore ye. But me and my true love will never meet again on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. 'Twas there that we parted in yon shady glen, on the steep, steep side of Ben Lomond, where in purple hue the highland hills we view, and the moon coming out in the gloaming. He'll take the high road, and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland afore ye. But me and my true love will never meet again on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. The wee birdies sing, and the flowers will spring, and the sun shine, the waters are sleeping, but the broken-hearted kens nae second spring again. Oh, the waeful may cease frae their grieving. Oh, you'll take the high road, and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland afore ye. But me and my true love will never meet again on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Thank you. Okay, last song. Again, I think it's from Scotland. And it's called Barbara Allen, and it's sometimes called Cruel Barbary Allen. And there's many versions to this song, and the longest one goes on, and it's about a young man who's dying, and he sends his servant to ask Barbara Allen to come visit him. It's the love of his life. And she's very cruel. Apparently she thinks he dissed her while drinking, something like that, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna sing the short version, but it's about, she's kind of cruel she does go to his deathbed, and she's kind of cruel to him, and then she feels awful about it, and she dies herself. So, all's well that ends well, I guess. Okay. In Scarlet Town, where I was born, there was a fair maid dwelling, made every youth cry well a day. Her name was Barbara Allen. All in the very month of May, when green buds they were swelling, young Jimmy Grove on his deathbed lay, for love of Barbara Allen. Then slowly, slowly she came up, And slowly she came nigh him, and all she said when there she came, "Young man, I think you're dying." As she was walking o'er the fields, she heard the dead bell knelling, and every stroke the dead bell gave cried woe to Barbara Allen. When he was dead and laid in grave, her heart was struck with sorrow. "Oh, mother, mother, make my bed, for I shall die tomorrow." "Farewell," she said, "ye virgins all, and shun the fault I fell in. Henceforth take warning by the fall of cruel Barbara Allen."
So that was kind of what was happening in America during the 1700s. But what about back where we came from originally, which was in Europe? Well, the name you want to focus in on in the early to mid 1700s was, of course, Johann Sebastian Bach. And to give you some idea of the differences between American music in those days and the European, I'd like to play for you now a piece of 18th century organ music converted over to band music. That effectively brings people together. It is a hymn song, and this is our variant on it, courtesy of Mr. Frank Kelly. This is our rendition of Amazing